Hi Stampers, happy Tuesday. My name's Jana Williams and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have a fun under the sea type card to do for you today. And if you see something you like and you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I invite you to go to my stamping page there and check out all the wonderful products that Stampin' Up! Has to offer. And don't forget to check the last chance sale and also the clearance sales, because you can always find some really good deals there. And if you do shop and you spend under $150 at checkout, please be sure to use the host code, because if you spend $35 or more, you're going to get a thank you gift from me the following month. So don't forget to pop in that code, because that's how you're going to get it. Sometimes if people forget, I will call the company and ask them to put it on, but I prefer if you guys could please just go ahead and do that yourself. It saves a lot of trouble for everyone, and there's a place to put it at checkout. Okay, let's get started. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. So let me show you the stamps and dies and things that I'll be using today. It's this fun Seascape stamp set. And this is a cling stamp set, and most of the stamps are out of here because I already have them mounted up on blocks, but it is a red rubber stamp set. And it's just got lots of fun elements in here to create an underwater scene. And then to go along with it, there's these fabulous dies. Now the dies are called Sea Life dies. And if you've noticed, none of these dies cut out anything that's in the stamp set. These are like an accompaniment to what's going on over here. So you've got a really fun seahorse. This is what I'm going to use today. And then also this gorgeous, gorgeous big floofy, that looks like a goldfish to me. It can be whatever kind of fish you want it to be. Let me just bring this up on my iPad. I forgot to do that. So where is it? There it is. All right. Now I can see if people would like to chat. And also, if you wouldn't mind, please give me a thumbs up and share this video. That would really be appreciated by me. Okay, so anyway, there's this gorgeous, gorgeous fish, and then there's this like coral looking stuff here, and a couple of cutie patootie little fishes that one die will cut out two fish at the same time. And when I cut this out, these dies are a bit unique, so I will show you when I go ahead and die cut this out what I mean by that. All right. I'm also going to be using a piece of paper from this. Now, this wonderful paper is going away at the end of this month. It's currently in the mini catalog. Don't you just love the colors in here? But it's got really gorgeous papers in here. So if you like what you're seeing, don't waste any time in picking this paper up before it's gone. Because yeah, it's going away the end of the month, which is a bummer. The stamps and dies aren't. They're in our new annual catalog. But also, if you are interested in the stamps and dies that go along with this set, which are all these really great seashells and things, you might want to get that for the bundled price before that goes away the end of this month. So this is called Sand and Sea Designer Series papers. I'm also using paper, which you wouldn't think, I would use some floral paper in an underwater scene, but it's because of the solid colors that are also in this. This is also in the mini catalog that is going to end the end of this month. And this paper is called Fine Art Floral. So there's all these really pretty painted looking, looks like they used acrylic or maybe oil paints. It's very 3D sort of looking paper. And then on the back sides, there's a lot of brush stroke looking things. So I used some paper out of here for my seahorse because I loved the orange, and I also used some of the yellow kind of color for that coral or whatever that looks like coral to me. So here's all my papers, and there's that yellow piece I was talking about, and the orange. I just thought this orange was really fun to do the seahorse with. And this is from that seashell paper. All right. So let's do die cutting first. Let me bring in, I lost my stuff there for a second. Let me bring in the seahorse. And I'm going to cut him right out of that designer series paper there. I'm just using some Post-it note. Hi, Seal. Thanks for joining me. Post-it note tape there to hold it in place. And I'm going to run this through my machine real quick. And then I will explain that. There's all the little pieces that were in that die. Okay. Whoops, I better not get rid of that. Let me just flick this and see if I can get most of what was left in there out. And then we will get it off of the paper. All right. I gotta clean up these little bits because they get in my way. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Do you see it doesn't completely detach from the paper? So this makes it really fun to layer it on top of maybe your card front. So you could cut this out in a rectangle like this, only straighter, and have another one behind it for the front of your card, and you can leave it attached, and then you can pop up, you know, these pieces. So that's a fun thing to do. Excuse me. Now in today's case, I'm just going to go ahead and snip, which it's only attached in a few little spots here, and it's really super easy to just snip them loose. So it gives you options with this die of what you want to do. Just don't want to snip anything off that I don't want to snip off. Okay, and you can just line up the little cut points so it makes it really easy. And there we go, just like that. So now he's loose. So what I did, I've got this little pattern here, is I traced around what did I trace around? Oh, I laid my cutout piece onto my cardstock, and I took a pencil and I traced all around it. And when I got up to these pointy parts, I just went in between the little points because I didn't want my pattern to be all the way out here. What my attempt at doing here was to get a backing piece, and what I did to get a backing piece to put behind this. Otherwise, when you put him on your card, which this is going to be the front layer of our card, see, he's see-through, and I don't want him to be see-through. So I didn't cut this out yet because I wanted to explain what I did, but I made myself a pattern besides this one so that I don't have to do that each time that I want to use this die. And so I made another pattern that I can just trace around, and just to make it easier on myself. So keep that in mind if you get this set or you have this set already. Just make yourself a pattern as a backing piece. Okay, and I'm going to pretty much cut as close there on the line as I can, but I can go back in if I need to and make some adjustments. Let me just flip this around and I'll go back and get that other little piece in a minute. I don't know why I'm holding my scissors like that with my fingers sticking up. I guess I'm being a weirdo. Okay. Almost done. So this color that I am backing my designer paper with is Cajun Craze, in case you're wondering. I just thought the two colors kind of looked good together, and in my opinion, of course, seahorses are in different colors, but this just looked kind of seahorsey to me. Kind of, sort of. Okay. I always have a hard time cutting around little curves like this. They're not the easiest to do. Okay, let's see how that works out. And then you're just going to put the top on there and finagle it around, and the tail wants to catch up. And I think it's easier to do it laying flat. And if it goes outside of the edge here a little bit, that doesn't really bug me too much. I think that's looking pretty good. Let me just trim this a little bit. Okay, and before I stick the two pieces together, I'm just going to bring in my silicone mat here. I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to sparkle this whole piece up. Hi, Ken. Yes, I am horsing around. I'm seahorsing around. Smarty pants. So I'm going to sparkle this up pretty good. And there you can kind of see it's not dry yet, but I wanted you to see the shimmer and sparkle because a lot of times that doesn't pick up. Okay, so let me turn this over. And you can use whatever adhesive you want, and you can actually cut that out of our double-sided adhesive too, which would make it probably a little bit easier than what I'm going to do here. But I'm just going to dab glue in a few spots. You can also squeeze out some glue onto your silicone mat and pick it up with a sponge and sponge over the whole back of your die cut piece, and that works pretty easy. But I'm just going to dot it around. And this glue is so sticky that even the tiniest little dots hold really well. All right, I think I've got enough glue on there. So let me just get it stuck down here. It looks so pretty with that sparkle in behind it there. I'm just going to rub it here a bit with my bone folder and see if that gets it. I might have to put a little more glue, we'll see. Looks like maybe I didn't get enough up here, so let me just add a little bit more. Probably wasn't squeezing the bottle good enough. My fingers are going to be all sticky now. Okay, so there's our seahorse ready to swim. I'm just going to get a wipe and get that glue off my mat and off my fingers. So I hope that what I tried to describe about how that die works, I hope that was understandable. But if I didn't explain it good enough, just ask me and I will try to explain it better. Okay. So we have this guy ready, and then I've got this piece of what looks like coral to me, and do we want the darkest up on the ends or like this? I like it better up there. Okay, I'm going to run this through and cut it out real quick. Now this one, do you see all those little cut marks? So you can pop these little pieces out to make your die cut way more 3D. So I'm just going to pop up a few of them, because I kind of think if you're going to put this in the mail, it's going to, you know, put them back down anyway. But it's kind of fun, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop a few of them out to give it that little extra bit of 3D-ness. Okay, so there is that die cut. So we are done with the die cuts. Let's do some stamping. So I've got this piece that I cut out of that seashell paper, and it just, I love the texture and the look on this. I cut this at 4 by 5 1/4, and I've got all the stamps mounted up here ready to go. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to stamp that in Blackberry Bliss. And let me just bring in a scrap here, because I'm going to stamp off the side of the paper a bit. And I'm going to just pop this over here. There we go. And I'm done with this color. And I've just got my Stampin' Scrub here, so I'm gonna give it a spritz with the Stampin' Mist. Look how big this bottle is. You get a lot of product here. And it smells good. It smells like baby powder. You may have heard of me say that before, but it works like a charm. So you spray it on the side of your Stampin' Scrub that's got the little water drops. And then this side has a little sunshine there. That's the dry side. And you just dry it off after you wash it. And I'm going to set that there. Okay. So let's add in some of the kelp. This looks like kelp to me, and I thought soft succulent was a fun color to use with that. And I'm just going to stamp it a couple of times. That. Look how fast our little underwater scene is coming together. And we'll just clean that stamp off. Nice and clean. And what next? How about some sand? So we need a little texture sand in the bottom there. And I'm going to go ahead and use Sahara sand to do that. And we'll make the floor of the ocean here. There we go. And how about some bubbles? So the stamp set has this adorable bubbles. You could use this in so many different, with other stamp sets. And I think Balmy Blue, actually, do I want Balmy Blue? Let's try Misty Moonlight. And let me see what that looks like. That's pretty dark. Maybe third generation of Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to ink it up, stamp it off twice, and then stamp it. And that's a good match, I think, for the background color of the paper there. Love it. So cute. That's probably enough bubbles. Okay, now I'm going to kind of, before I put everything together here, I'm going to kind of determine where I want the seahorse, because I want to bring in my little thank you stamp that I'm going to stamp here so that I can stamp it first, just in case I mess something up and have to do some sort of a repair. I'm going to use Night of Navy and ink up the thank you, and fingers crossed. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so let's bring this back, and we're going to pop this kind of right over here. And we're going to wrap his tail around. So I'm just not going to put a lot of glue on that middle sort of one there. What did I do with my mat? Here it is. And I will come back after I get his tail around it. That part is just a little bit tricky. From the first one I made, I can tell you it's a little bit tricky. Anyway, it was for me. So I'll put some glue down here, but not up there where his tail's gonna go. We have a very large aquarium here where we live, and there is a, in one of the rooms there's a traveling exhibition, so it always changes what's in that room. But one of the times they brought in seahorses, and they were so cool. There's so many different ones. And of course, real seahorses don't look like the fake ones in the books, but they do kind of look like this. But yeah, there's big ones and little tiny ones, and they can swim really fast. And they wrap that tail around things to hang on. They're just pretty cool. Okay, so I think before I get too carried away with wrapping his tail around, I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals on him, or her, whatever the case may be. And I think at this point, maybe a little one there. Let me grab a little one. right about there. I think this is where where I made it hard for myself the first time, is I didn't put these on first. Then I had to go back around after I wrapped his tail around and try to put my adhesive stuff on afterwards. That was not easy. Okay. Now I think we're going to just do it like that. Look how much easier that went. It definitely wasn't that easy the first time around, I can tell you that. Okay, let me just hold this down here for a second. We're going to put some embellishments on, and we got to do the inside still. But look at that sparkle from behind. Can you see it? I don't know if you can. Yeah, there. It's really pretty in person. Okay. So let me bring the inside of our card over here, and I've got this one from the stamp set. Just thought you should know how wonderful you are. And I'll bring back in the Night of Navy. This is a very interesting font, I think. It's really pretty. And then I've got this little small school of fish here. And I'm going to use some bumblebee. And we're going to have some swimming from over here. And some swimming away over here. Now that would be cute to do that if you had one that was saying that on the front was saying just swimming by. And I'm pretty sure we have one that says that in one of our sets. Could be wrong, but I think so. Okay. So let's get this put onto the inside of the card. Now I have a Night of Navy card base here. Thank you, Seal. I'm just going to pop that in there. Get this put onto front. And then I've got some really pretty sequins to show you that I'm going to add. And this darker color card base just makes the whole thing pop, I think. There we go. Okay, let me bring in these sequins. They're so gorgeous. These are the Artistry Bloom sequins. They don't have holes in them, which I really love that they don't. So there's these that are kind of pearlescent, and those are the ones I'm going to use. Then there's these that are kind of orangey, but yet there's pink in there and blue, depending on how you turn them. these gorgeous ones, and then the yellow kind of. They're so, so pretty. These are in the annual catalog. And again, they are the Artistry Blooms. They came in like a little, sort of a little blister box thing, and I took them out of that and just put them in. This is a baseball sleeve, baseball card sleeve, and I cut the back off so that I would remember what these are called. So I'm just going to pop 3 of these onto the front of the card. I always like to do things in odd numbers. Makes a little more appealing to the eye. So I'm going to put 2 there and then another big one over here. And that will finish the card. I hope you guys like it. It was actually really fun and easy to create. That background you saw, that went together in no time at all, especially when you start with a designer paper in the background that helps you to create your scene quickly. So yeah, very fun. And this was the first one, so they're pretty much just the same. The texture in the paper, or the coloring in the paper, was just a tad bit different. But other than that, pretty much the same. So thank you guys for sharing my video if you do, and giving me a thumbs up. And thank you for watching and being here. I just really super appreciate it. I will be over on my Facebook page on Friday, and that's Janice Samps over there. And I do my live videos there at 2 o'clock on Fridays, and that's Pacific time. So join me over there for another live card making session. And in the meantime, happy stamping. Have a great week, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.